Hey, this is Michael Rosenbaum.
Hey guys, Tom Welling. Look, we've both played heroes.
And we both played villains. But in the real life, there are no reshoots, no stuntmen, or sequels.
We all make mistakes. We're all human.
Making one bad decision can not only land you in jail, but could also put yourself and other people around you in serious risk.
Be smart, make a plan, catch a ride, stay put.
Don't let a high moment turn into a lifetime of regret. This holiday season, be your own hero. If you feel different, you drive different. Drive high, get a DUI.
Paid for by NHTSA.
AI agents are everywhere, automating tasks and making decisions at machine speed. But agents make mistakes. Just one rogue agent can do big damage before you even notice. Rubrik Agent Cloud is the only platform that helps you monitor agents, set guardrails, and rewind mistakes, so you can unleash agents, not risk. Accelerate your AI transformation at Rubrik.com. That's RUBRIK.com.
If you're the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, you know having a trusted partner makes all the difference. That's why, hands down, you count on Grainger for auto reordering. With on-time restocks, your team will have the cut-resistant gloves they need at the start of their shift. And you can end your day knowing they've got safety well in hand. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Trojan family, what's up? Welcome back to the USC LAFB show. I'm your host, Ryan Dyrud, here on the LAFB network. Thank you, as always, for making this a part of your day. USC announces 5 more re-signings. It had been a day or two, I believe, since their last announcement. So this now brings the roster total up to, by my count, 70. I believe we're at 70 total when you include the 35 player freshman class coming in, meaning, as I've been saying all along, I think they'll add roughly 20 or so more, like re-sign 20 or more current players, which then leaves them that like 10 to 15 transfer portal additions. So we'll talk a little bit big picture. This will be a fairly quick one, but let's get to the 5 quickly who have re-signed. So Kaylon Miller, finally it's announced. King Miller, his brother, was announced a couple days ago, and now redshirt freshman offensive lineman Kaylon Miller announced. A true Hollywood story, these two brothers, right? Growing up in LA, going to Calabasas High, both walking on to USC, and both being called upon as walk-ons, as redshirt freshmen, being thrust into not just, hey, you're going to have some reps here and there. No, you're going to be starting in big-time games. Both, obviously, King Miller basically took over starting running back after during the Michigan game, we should say. He got some reps before that, but took over as the lead guy after both Wayman Jordan and Eli Sanders go down with injury, and he never looked back. King Miller, just a really good running back. Let's just leave it there. Just a solid running back, and it was so fun how, the coaching staff and the players would say, yeah, this is how this guy practices. Like, he creases stuff in practice all the time, his work ethic. Like, we knew he would see the field eventually just by how he performs in practice. And then we saw it a little bit here and there early in the season, and then out of necessity was just given the keys and totally ran with it. So Kaylon Miller, very similarly, right? Like, not a huge dude. Like, he is not a Big Ten offensive lineman when you look at body size. I mean, I remember talking to him in the scrum. I'm a small guy, so everyone is bigger than me. But offensive linemen usually look like they could eat me as a snack, like just tower over me. When you look at Elijah Page, Tobias Raymond, go down the list. Kaylon Miller, does not look that much bigger than me. He obviously is. He's got a solid century mark number of pounds on me, but he is not a big dude. He is technically sound. He works harder than others, and he's just put in the work, knowing the system, knowing the offense to kind of be in the right place and do the right things. Now, what's his projection moving forward? He does have limitations just on that size. Like, you can't measure the size of a guy's heart, but especially in the Big Ten, like we saw it in certain games, right? Like we saw in some games down the stretch where, hey, he played his tail off. He wasn't any reason why anything went wrong, but we saw him sometimes get pushed around a little bit. Just purely, he's just not a big dude. And there's some big defensive tackles when you're in the interior going against. But certainly a solid depth piece. Certainly a guy that can come in and start at times. Certainly a guy that can play on special teams. And certainly a culture guy that you want in your locker room that just loves USC, loves this team, loves playing football. So a tremendous re-signing. As I've said earlier, I see him more with that size, more suited for center over guard and kind of some of the athleticism. In this Lincoln Riley offense, guards are pulling all the time. And so when you have size and athleticism and a pulling guard and you can come and just maul people, that's what you want. Whereas a center, you can get away with some of that, lack of true Big Ten size. So I see him more as a center moving forward. I think that's kind of where they had him slotted anyway. And then out of necessity, kind of moving over to guard just because of need for depth and then need to start because of injuries. So I would love to see him in the bowl game at center. Obviously, we won't see Killian O'Connor. I believe we'll see Jean-Ray Reed. I haven't heard anything of him opting out yet. Obviously, he will be out of eligibility going to the draft. But I believe we'll see him still, at least for a half, come and, put some more tape out there. But then I would expect Kaylon Miller to maybe get some reps at center, and also another guy that we'll talk about here in a moment. The other redshirt freshman, so young, this is all 2 redshirt freshmen and 3 true freshmen that re-sign, Elijah Newby. I love Elijah Newby's prospect. I think he's a super athletic linebacker. The coaching staff toyed with him moving from backer to edge, ultimately moved him back from edge to backer. I think having that versatility in this defense, the ability to do both, be kind of a Gentry-like player where he can play off the edge or as a true stack backer. I thought personally we would have probably seen Newby a little bit more this year, just based on the linebacker play we did see. So I expect to see him to continue to develop, but he's a tremendous athlete. When you think of a linebacker that can go sideline to sideline, can blitz off the edge, can do a number of different things within this defense, I think Newby has all the tools as a former, 4-star recruit. So love that he's back, just a redshirt freshman. So he's going into his 3rd season. So still a lot of tread left. Keep developing him and seeing if he can crack into that rotation and continue being a special teams player. So Newby, I think, is a really solid one. We'll go back to the offensive line. And as I kind of alluded to when talking about Kaylon Miller, Willi Wascher, freshman, center from the great state of Washington up in the Pacific Northwest, re-signs. Like this one as well. This is another guy, 3-star recruit. Probably a lot of people don't even know his name. If you're a casual USC fan, and that's no knock, he's a guy that was in the 25 class that probably not a lot of people remember. Just kind of one of those 3-star add-ons. Zach Hansen, offensive line coach, raved about this guy. I remember talking to him in spring practices when we got some media availability with all the assistant coaches. And what I always look at when coaches talk about players is if they get asked about a player, what's their review about it? Or do they just bring a player up unprovoked? So when you say, like, if I were like, hey, what's Willi Wascher showing you? Young guy. Is he adapting? What's he look like? And they say, yeah, he's playing well. Like, I'm taking all that with a grain of salt. They're never going to bash a guy. And I'm not saying that couldn't still mean they're saying really good things. But if I say, hey, who in this room is really kind of standing out to you? Like, aside from the big guys that we already expect to start, like, who are some surprise names that might surprise? Willi Wascher's name came up multiple times of like, hey, this is a guy that's beyond his years, is not playing like a true freshman, has the size, has the athleticism. So Willi Wascher is a guy that I believe can compete for that starting role. When you look at Willi Wascher, Kaylon Miller, Killian O'Connor, and then Brett Kolajay coming in this class, among others, but I think he's kind of the true threat at center to start as true freshman. You have a lot of talent at center now, a lot of depth, and still a lot of youth. Killian O'Connor, obviously the elder statesman, but after that, it's redshirt freshmen or younger. So I think that the ceiling is very high for that room. and the lights are very bright for that room. And Willi Wascher is a guy, watch out for, should get playing time in the bowl game. Again, curious if Jean-Ray Reed plays. Like, will we see Reed for a half, Miller for a quarter, Wascher for a quarter? I mean, it depends what they really want out of this game. Obviously, you're always playing to win, but depending how the game goes, if you can really get some of these young guys in and get valuable reps, I think that's very much worth doing.
Hey, this is Steve Gorman, radio host, sports commentator, former drummer for the Black Crowes. The winter holidays are here, a time for festive celebrations, family gatherings, and ringing in the new year. Whether it's a holiday party, a night out with friends, or just relaxing by the fire with a few drinks, it's a season full of good cheer. But here's something else to add to your holiday plans: a safe and sober ride home. Just like in sports and music, always have a game plan. And the most important part of any plan is sticking to it. If you plan to drink, take that plan a step further. Call a rideshare, a taxi, a sober friend, or have a designated driver lined up before the night begins. Drinking and driving is a decision that can change your life and the lives of others forever. A DUI, a crash, an injury. The consequences are real and lasting. So please, for your sake and for everyone else on the road, make the smart choice. Get a sober ride home. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Wide receiver Corey Sims, another true freshman. So this is the last, I think, of all the receivers that I wanted to see back, right? I talked about that last episode. When you look at, all now 3 freshmen have re-signed: Tanick Hines, Ramiro Eisen, and now Corey Sims. And then you have, Zacharias Williams re-signed. Obviously, you have your 6 incoming freshmen are all signed. I'm sure there's one right off the top of my head right now that I am forgetting. Maybe I'm not. Maybe that is all the ones that I have projected. So, but anyway, I don't see any other. Everyone else is either already entered the portal when you think of like Prince Strachan and guys like that, or is out of eligibility and going to the NFL draft. So Corey Sims, love his style of play. Like, he, to me, is a true kind of outside wide receiver one type body. He was actually, of the 3 incoming freshmen, Eisen, Sims, and Hines, like, he was the one I probably projected to have the biggest impact as a true freshman. Hats off to Nick Hines. He surprised me. I loved what he could be, but to me, Sims, with the body type, I was like, I think this is a guy that as a freshman can really come in and get some valuable reps alongside Lemon and Lane. And so didn't see him saw some special teams and saw some like late game stuff. But certainly some good reviews from the coaching staff, and a guy that I think can continue to contend and compete with a wide open wide receiver room, right? Like, that's what we keep talking about. Is I still believe they're going to go get some big wide receiver one who has experience, but regardless, going into next year, that room is ripe for the taking. Who wants to be wide receiver 1? Who wants to be wide receiver 2? Who wants to be wide receiver 3? Who wants to be wide receiver 4? Like, it is wide open for anyone that is going to take it, and there's no reason why Corey Sims can't be one of those guys. And finally, the final 5th, defensive lineman Cash Jacobsen, true freshman again, so love to see this crop of 5 signings, all young guys, making sure they're keeping their youth as they continue to develop. Cash is a guy from the 25 class, good size, battled, I believe, battled hard and continued to develop, and a guy that I think Coach Henne is higher than maybe what his recruiting ranking was. So we'll continue to see him develop and see if he can kind of crack into that rotation and be kind of in that true D tackle spot as he continues to build his body out and body of workout. So there's your 5. Good signing. Great to see. Love the youth. Like I said, bringing your numbers up to 70. We're looking at, we should, in my opinion, get probably 4 more tweets of 5 hourglass emojis, if that makes sense. Essentially signaling 20 more re-signings. I think they're right in that threshold. That puts you at 15 spots for transfer portal guys. It's going to be a smaller class. It's going to be an impact. Real quick, before I kind of talk big picture, real quick, let me give a shout out to my friends over at Sleeper. I haven't done like the live in-read ad. We need to bring that back, incorporate it, get you guys involved with Sleeper. It's the holiday season. Can have some real money offerings, win some money, or just have some fun, have some fun. So download the Sleeper app. It's the #1 sports app. Go to Google Play, Apple Store. Once you download, it's not just for season-long fantasy, right? Like it's the daily pick'em is kind of what's one of the most fun things you can do. All you're doing is choosing any sport out there. So I know college football is basically done. You still have the college football playoff to go if you want, but if you want to do NFL, you can combine it with hockey, basketball, but you're just choosing more or less for whatever player prop, if you will, you're looking for. So if you're looking specifically at a game, Christmas Day game, we got Broncos Chiefs. If you want to go, I'm just throwing a name out there, Cortland Sutton, wide receiver, more or less. I'm guessing he's probably going to be around that 48 to 50 yards, more or less. Add 2 to 8 players. That's it. It's that easy. So go to download the app. When you go to make your first deposit, make sure to use our promo code USCLAFB, all one word, USCLAFB. You're going to get a deposit match bonus up to $100. So you can put in $10. They'll match you 10 to play with. Your start with 20. You can put in up to 100. They'll match you that 100. All of a sudden, you're at $200 to play with right off the bat. And right now, if you're a new user, if you've never used Sleeper, just for signing up, and once you go to no deposit required, they're going to give you $20 to play with. Just for signing up, first time user. So if you're wondering like, I don't want to make a deposit, yada, 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 just go sign up. You'll get $20 to play with just for signing up, and then go use our USC LAFB promo code to stack that offer and get the match bonus as well. So, Sleeper, download the app, tell the guys at the USC LAFB sent you. All right, so big names we're still waiting on. And I don't want anyone to get concerned. Still a lot of offensive line names. When you look at Hayden Treader, when you look at Aaron Dunn, when you look at Alex Payne, when you look at Elijah Vicona, those are the young names. I expect all of them to be back. So what is that? 4 I just listed. Elijah Page, as I've said before, I expect him to be back. They're just maybe teasing that along, stringing that along, but I expect him to be back. I think he was a very high priority for this staff to make sure he is back in the fold, leading this offensive line. Alani Noah, I don't know for sure. That is the big question mark. Of all the players, even including Hussan Longstreak, I think Alani Noah is probably my biggest question mark. And yeah, I don't know exactly where he sits. Haven't heard of him opting out of the bowl game. Obviously, he hasn't entered the portal or announced he's going to enter the portal. Haven't heard if he's been seen at practice. Obviously, I was not able to attend, unfortunately, because of the birth of my daughter, so was not there. So that's the one name I don't really know for sure. But Elijah Page, I think, will be back. Alani Noah, I do not know for sure. All the young guys, yes. Linebackers, we crossed one off today. You still got Tamir Robinson. You still got Desmond Stevens. And you still got A.J. Tuatele. We'll see about those 3. I expect them all to be back. Again, at this point, I don't think we'll have any crazy big transfer portal entries. I think that all happened already. We might get, a small fraction of like, hey, I love this team. I want to play the bowl game, and then I'll enter and go look for elsewhere opportunities. That definitely can happen. Certainly, as we know in years past, teams will be tampering and talking and all that stuff. So there could be someone that didn't have an intention and all of a sudden gets a crazy offer through the pipeline and goes. But I don't expect any crazy amount after the bowl. I think we've seen our main exodus already. Judea Baseri and Alex Graham are probably, and then Hussan Longstreet are probably the last 3 big names we're waiting on. And Abasiri I expect back. Graham definitely expect back. I think he should be a super high priority. And as I've said, Hussan Longstreet I think is 50-50. I would lean him being back. I just think you don't, if you're a quarterback, you don't leave the opportunity of playing for Lincoln Riley. I just think that would be, I totally get and would have zero qualms if you want to just go start next year. Now with Jaden Maiava coming back. Totally would understand it. But if your true goal is the best opportunity to set yourself up for the NFL, you do not leave Lincoln Riley as a quarterback. Every single quarterback that has gone from Lincoln Riley to the draft, so their last college season played for Lincoln Riley, was either a first overall pick, Heisman winner, or Jalen Hurts who went in the second round and won a Super Bowl. Like, that track record speaks for itself. So I think Hussein Longstreet will be back, but I think it's 50-50 from what, the chatter is out there in the talk. So those are your last big names. We will get into it. I'll have you covered all through the holidays, all through Christmas. If these things come on, I'll jump on here Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. I'm here. We're here. We're talking USC football all year round. The show does not stop. Appreciate you guys as always. Hit that like and subscribe button if you want to become a member. Hey, if you want to give a little more holiday cheer to the Dyward family and the LAFB family for that matter, become a member. It helps support the show. You get discounts on merchandise, plus access to all of our other, content and, freebies over at the LAFBnetwork.com and our forum and message board there, which you should check out anyway. So go to LAFBnetwork.com if you have not already. Check out our forum. I'm putting all of everything with transfer portal, re-signings, rumors, all that is in there. So check all that out. We appreciate it. I should have a Danton Lynn update here soon. I think we will have a resolution by the end of the week, whether he's to stay or to go. I don't know. I don't know if it'll be after the bowl game. I kind of feel it'll be by the end of the week, just so there's enough time with, transfer portal and all that stuff. But obviously at the minimum, you would think by New Year's Eve after the bowl game. USC does leave for the bowl game on the 26th, day after Christmas. So obviously a lot of time here, or not a lot of time here before then. So we'll see what's going on with that. But I should have an update for you here very soon. So keep it right here on the USC LAFB show. Thank you, family. And as always, fight on.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening. Happy holidays! Want to give your host a gift? Consider subscribing, rating, and reviewing the show this holiday season. It really helps the show grow. From all of us at Believe, have a Merry Christmas, everyone, and a Happy Holiday.